undermine the very people who gave this third-rate actress credibility and status, and that, I think, is unforgivable.
Elon's not interested, and Gordon Getty's been blocked by his family, so poor darling, and Jeff's taken by Lauren, so I mean, the poor girl, what are her options?
She's what I would call a ruthless social climber, who just when people are no longer, no longer appropriate parts of her circle, they have to be expunged quickly so she can move on up the ladder.
Listen to the source revealing she wants 4 floors of the Hyatt Hotel completely shut down just for her. Extra security outside. Staff aren't allowed to look at her. She's in total control.
Meghan is driving Harry to his absolute destruction. And this is something that his family has feared for a very long time.
A stunning new royal claim is sending shockwaves through the Sussex debate. Lady C is now being linked to reports that Meghan Markle has already identified a billionaire who could potentially replace Prince Harry in her future plans. If true, this would be an extraordinary development, and one that could completely change the way people understand the Sussexes' relationship, ambitions, and future. But what is actually known? Before we continue, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has chosen a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and there is no confirmed statement from Lady C establishing that such a plan exists. There has also been no official announcement from Meghan, Prince Harry, or their representatives indicating that their marriage or partnership is ending or that another billionaire is being positioned as Harry's replacement. That distinction is essential. Yet the headline has already triggered intense speculation. Why would Meghan allegedly need a replacement for Harry? Who could this billionaire supposedly be? And what evidence, if any, supports the claim that Lady C has uncovered a secret plan? These questions are attracting enormous attention because Harry and Meghan's future has been the subject of speculation for years. Since stepping back from royal duties, the couple have built separate and shared professional identities. Harry has pursued charitable work, publishing, speaking engagements, and media projects. Meghan has developed her own interests in entertainment, lifestyle, and commercial ventures. That has led some commentators to wonder whether their long-term ambitions could eventually move in different directions. But speculation about different career paths is not evidence of a relationship breakdown. Likewise, discussion about wealthy potential business partners does not establish that someone has been selected as a romantic replacement. So, where did this latest claim come from? Did Lady C actually name a billionaire? Has Meghan ever confirmed such a person exists? Or is another dramatic headline turning speculation into something that sounds like an established revelation? Stay with us as we separate verified information from rumor and commentary and examine what is, and isn't, known about this explosive claim. The moment the latest claim began circulating, one question immediately took over the conversation. Who exactly is the billionaire Meghan Markle has supposedly chosen to replace Prince Harry? The answer, at least from the verified public record, is much less dramatic than the headline suggests. Before we continue, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has selected a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and there is no confirmed public statement from Lady C naming such a person as part of Meghan's personal or romantic future. There is also no official announcement from Meghan or Harry indicating that their marriage is ending or that another person is being positioned to take Harry's place. That distinction matters because the phrase "replace Harry" suggests something far more specific than simply knowing, working with, or being acquainted with a wealthy individual. Over the years, Meghan and Harry have interacted with numerous influential people from entertainment, business, philanthropy, and media. Their professional circles naturally include wealthy executives, investors, celebrities, and entrepreneurs. But association does not equal replacement, and financial success does not automatically establish a romantic connection. This is where the latest headline becomes particularly interesting. Royal commentators frequently analyze Meghan's growing independence and her attempts to establish a professional identity outside the traditional royal family structure. Some believe that her ambitions could eventually become even more commercially focused. Others argue that she and Harry have already demonstrated that they can pursue individual careers while remaining a couple. Neither interpretation provides evidence of a secret billionaire waiting to replace Harry. Lady C's involvement is another major reason the story has attracted attention. Her commentary about the Sussexes has frequently generated strong reactions because she is known for making outspoken assessments about royal relationships and personalities. Supporters may interpret her remarks as revealing information that mainstream outlets overlook. Critics argue that commentary should remain clearly separated from independently verified evidence. That distinction becomes especially important when claims involve someone's marriage or private relationships. At present, no verified public evidence establishes that Meghan has selected another man as Harry's replacement. No confirmed announcement identifies a billionaire. No official statement describes a new romantic relationship. And no verified evidence demonstrates that Harry has been informed of or blindsided by such a plan. So, why has the billionaire angle become such a powerful part of the story? One reason is simple. Money and royalty create an irresistible headline. The idea that a duchess could secretly be planning a future with a billionaire is almost guaranteed to generate curiosity. It combines wealth, celebrity, relationship drama, and the royal family in one narrative. That makes it highly shareable. But a highly clickable narrative is not automatically a verified one. For now, the available facts point to something much more cautious. Meghan Markle has publicly pursued her own professional ambitions. Prince Harry has continued developing his own charitable and media interests. The couple have also continued appearing publicly together. There has been no official confirmation that either has announced plans to separate or replace the other. Everything beyond that remains speculation. And that leaves us with an even more intriguing question. If there is no verified evidence of a billionaire replacement, why are commentators so convinced that Meghan's future could look radically different from Harry's? That's where the story takes its next turn. As speculation continued spreading, another question became impossible to ignore. Why are people connecting Meghan Markle's future ambitions with the idea of a billionaire replacement for Prince Harry? Before we continue, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has selected a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and no confirmed public statement from Lady C establishing that such a person exists. There is also no official announcement from Harry or Meghan indicating that their marriage is ending or that another individual has been chosen to take Harry's place. So, where does the theory come from? One major factor is Meghan's growing professional independence. Since stepping away from senior royal duties, Meghan has developed projects and interests that operate outside the traditional royal family structure. She has explored media production, lifestyle branding, charitable work, public appearances, and commercial opportunities. Those activities have encouraged commentators to ask whether Meghan's long-term ambitions could eventually become even more independent from Harry. But there is a major difference between professional independence and replacing a spouse. A person can build an individual career while remaining fully committed to a marriage. Harry himself has pursued projects separate from Meghan, including charitable work, publishing, speaking engagements, and other public activities. That is not, by itself, demonstrated that their relationship is ending. Another reason the billionaire theory attracts attention is the enormous wealth associated with some of the people in the Sussexes' professional circles. The couple have interacted with influential figures in entertainment, technology, finance, philanthropy, and business. But being photographed with a wealthy person or working with an influential entrepreneur does not establish a romantic relationship. No verified public evidence currently identifies a billionaire as Meghan's intended replacement for Harry. The role of Lady C is also important. Because she has spent years commenting on the royal family, her statements can generate substantial online attention. Supporters may interpret her commentary as insider knowledge. The critics argue that her claims should be treated as opinion unless independently corroborated. That distinction matters particularly when the subject involves marriage, romance, or private family relationships. Another element driving the speculation is the phrase, "replace Harry." That wording creates a very specific narrative. It suggests not merely a new business partner or influential acquaintance, but an intentional plan to substitute one person for another. There is no verified evidence establishing such an intention. Until a credible source provides direct evidence, the billionaire theory remains speculation. The confirmed picture is much simpler. Harry and Meghan have pursued both joint and individual professional projects. They continue to attract enormous public attention. Their private relationship remains subject to constant media speculation. But there has been no official announcement that Meghan has chosen another partner or that Harry is being replaced. Everything beyond those facts remains commentary and interpretation. And now the bigger question emerges. Could the billionaire story be less about romance and more about Meghan's long-term business ambitions? That's where the next part becomes particularly interesting. As the billionaire theory continued spreading, another possibility began attracting attention. What if the speculation has less to do with romance and more to do with Meghan Markle's ambitions outside the royal family? Before we continue, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has chosen a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and no confirmed public statement from Lady C identifying a billionaire as Meghan's future partner. There is also no official announcement from Harry or Meghan suggesting that their marriage is ending. What is publicly visible, however, is that Meghan has developed interests beyond traditional royal life. Since leaving senior royal duties, she has pursued media projects, lifestyle ventures, charitable initiatives, and commercial opportunities. Those activities have naturally placed her in contact with influential figures from business, entertainment, philanthropy, and finance. But professional connections should not automatically be interpreted as romantic ones. That distinction is especially important when discussing wealthy individuals. A billionaire could potentially be a business contact, investor, philanthropist, media executive, or simply someone within a wider social circle. None of those possibilities establishes that the person is being positioned to replace Harry. Still, the theory continues because Meghan's professional ambitions have attracted considerable attention. Some commentators believe she is attempting to build a powerful independent brand that could eventually operate largely on its own. Others argue that Harry and Meghan have already demonstrated a flexible model in which both partners can develop separate careers while remaining connected as a couple. Neither interpretation proves the existence of a secret replacement plan. Lady C's commentary has nevertheless become central to the online discussion. Because she frequently offers strong opinions about the Sussexes, her remarks are often presented in dramatic headlines. A comment about Meghan's ambitions can quickly become a claim about a secret strategy. A suggestion about influential connections can become a story about a billionaire replacement. That transformation is exactly why audiences should distinguish between what a commentator says and what has actually been verified. At present, there is no confirmed billionaire identity. There is no verified evidence of a secret romantic arrangement. There is no official statement from Harry or Meghan announcing a separation. And there is no verified evidence that Harry has been told he is being replaced. The available facts therefore point toward a much more cautious conclusion. Meghan's professional world has expanded. Her public profile remains enormous. Her network includes influential people. But none of that establishes the dramatic claim contained in the headline. Ultimately, the biggest unanswered question is not who the supposed billionaire is. It's whether the billionaire story has any factual foundation at all. And that is exactly what we need to examine before drawing any conclusions. After examining the billionaire theory, Meghan Markle's professional ambitions, and Lady C's commentary, one question remains. What can actually be verified, and what remains speculation? Before we continue, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has selected a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and there is no confirmed public statement from Lady C identifying a specific billionaire as Meghan's future romantic partner. There is also no official announcement from Prince Harry or Meghan Markle indicating that their marriage is ending or that another person has been chosen to replace Harry. That distinction is essential. What can be confirmed is that Harry and Meghan have developed individual and shared professional interests since stepping away from senior royal duties. Meghan has pursued media and lifestyle projects, charitable initiatives, and commercial opportunities. Harry has continued with charitable work, publishing, speaking engagements, and other public projects. Their careers have not always followed exactly the same path. But different professional priorities do not establish a relationship breakdown. Another important point is the difference between a business connection and a romantic relationship. The Sussexes' professional and social circles naturally include wealthy entrepreneurs, executives, philanthropists, celebrities, and investors. Being connected to someone wealthy does not demonstrate that the individual has been selected as a future partner. At present, no verified evidence identifies a billionaire as Meghan's intended replacement for Harry. The same principle applies to Lady C's commentary. She has built a significant following by offering strong opinions about the royal family and the Sussexes. Her observations may influence public discussion, but commentary alone does not establish a private relationship as fact. If a claim involves an alleged secret relationship, credible evidence would normally be required before presenting it as established news. That could include a direct statement from the people involved, authenticated documentation, or reliable independent reporting. None of that has been publicly established here. Another reason the story has become so dramatic is the language used in viral headlines. Words such as exposes, secret, replace, and billionaire create a powerful narrative before the evidence is even examined. They encourage audiences to assume that a major revelation has already been proven. But a compelling headline is not evidence. The confirmed picture remains much simpler. Harry and Meghan continue pursuing their respective professional interests. They remain among the world's most closely watched public figures. Lady C continues commenting on their lives and the wider royal family. There is no verified evidence that Meghan has chosen a billionaire to replace Harry. There is also no official confirmation of a separation or secret romantic arrangement. Everything beyond those established facts remains commentary, interpretation, and speculation. And that brings us to the final question. If the billionaire replacement story has not been verified, what should audiences actually take away from all the speculation? That's what we'll examine in the final section. After examining the billionaire theory, Lady C's commentary, and Meghan Markle's publicly known professional activities, one final question remains. Is there actually evidence that Meghan has chosen someone to replace Prince Harry? Before we conclude, it's important to separate confirmed facts from commentary. There is no verified evidence that Meghan Markle has selected a billionaire to replace Prince Harry, and no confirmed public statement from Lady C establishing that such a person has been chosen as Meghan's future partner. There is also no official announcement from Harry or Meghan indicating that their marriage is ending or that another individual is being positioned to replace Harry. That distinction is the most important takeaway from this entire story. What is confirmed is that Harry and Meghan have developed both shared and individual professional interests since stepping back from senior royal duties. Meghan has pursued media, lifestyle, charitable, and commercial projects. Harry has continued with charitable work, publishing, speaking engagements, and other public activities. Their professional paths can evolve independently without proving that their personal relationship has changed. The same principle applies to their wider social and professional networks. Harry and Meghan naturally encounter wealthy entrepreneurs, executives, investors, philanthropists, and celebrities through their work. A professional connection with an influential person is not evidence of a secret romantic relationship. Likewise, Lady C's commentary can contribute to public discussion without constituting official confirmation. Unless a claim is supported by direct statements, authenticated evidence, or reliable independent reporting, it should remain classified as speculation. That is particularly important when a headline makes an extraordinary claim about someone's private relationship. The language used in viral headlines can also create a misleading sense of certainty. Words such as exposed, secret, replace, and billionaire immediately suggest that a major revelation has already been proven. But dramatic wording does not establish factual evidence. At present, the verified picture remains straightforward. Harry and Meghan continue pursuing shared and individual professional projects. Meghan has developed her own public-facing business and lifestyle interests. Harry continues his charitable, publishing, and media activities. Lady C continues providing commentary about the Sussexes. There is no verified evidence that Meghan has chosen a billionaire to replace Harry. There is no official confirmation of a secret romantic arrangement or separation. Everything beyond those established facts remains commentary, interpretation, and speculation. Ultimately, this story demonstrates why audiences should look beyond viral headlines and ask a simple question: what evidence actually exists? Until credible evidence or an official statement emerges, claims that Lady C has exposed the billionaire Meghan supposedly selected to replace Harry should be treated as unverified allegations, not established fact. What do you think? Do you believe these billionaire replacement claims are based on genuine clues? Or are commentators turning Meghan's professional ambitions into a much bigger story than the evidence supports? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoy royal family coverage that separates verified facts from speculation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with another deep dive into the biggest stories surrounding Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the British royal family.